This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Theater 40 of Beverly Hills for their presentation of The Consul, The Tramp, and America's Sweetheart. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
I'm Melanie Chardoff. I've been a television and theater actress, started on Broadway, came out here to do a TV series many years ago, and I'm happy to be back on the stage again. I play Mary Pickford. In 1939, Mary Pickford was the head of United Artists Studios, which was a combination of independent producers like Charlie Chaplin and Doug Fairbanks Jr., D.W. Griffith, and Joseph Schenck, who all were united in keeping the profits for themselves. And I've read a biography of Mary. She began negotiating her own contracts when she was but 15 years old. She was on the David Belasco tour, and she was working with D.W. Griffith as a child. And she came from poverty. Her father died when she was very young, and her mother put her brother, and sister on the stage when they were children to make a living. She was a survivor, and as her career began to wane, she was still playing 13-year-olds in her 30s, mind you, but as her career began to wane, she began to take more control of her business. And with Charlie Chaplin and Doug Fairbanks, who became her husband, she began to organize this studio and became quite a businesswoman, very successful businesswoman, and may have, in fact, dealt with the Nazi propagandist at some point. This is all hypothetical, though. I'm not sure she directly confronted him as she does in the play.
I love this piece. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, I was just mesmerized. It was so timely. It was about Hollywood and the things that you had to do.
It has a lot of contemporary resonance for us, certainly. Before the election occurred, it was more of a comedy, and now it's a little more dramatic than it was before, because some of the influences are suddenly rearing their heads.
Yeah, it's almost like ironic. Again, I saw you as this executive figure, this head of state, running the studio, and then I saw, again, fighting this force that can destroy the world and all that is evil. And I almost got chills thinking, hey, did this just happen in an election?
Right, and this wasn't done on television. This was done in the intimacy of little offices where people, he actually sat on my couch. That's a big threat to Mary, where he actually walks in the door of my office and sniffing around my things. Got very confrontative and very frightening for her at that time, and any executive at United Artists.
No matter how many things change, it seems to all be the same again. And whatever, I just loved your performance. I thought you're fantastic.
Thank you.
It was fantastic.
We appreciate it. We work hard for people like you.
Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with...
Hello, I'm Brian Stanton. I do theater all over Los Angeles. I have my own original solo play, and I just wrapped Around the World in 80 Days at the Matrix Theater.
Great. And which character did you play?
Charlie Chaplin. He's a young boy filled with passion, but very deep. Everybody knows him for his comedy, but when he makes his film, he's like a dictator of his own film, in a way, of his films. He's very particular, knows what he wants, gets it done, but a day without laughter is a day wasted was certainly one of his mottos as well.
I loved your performance. I just loved it. It was because I've seen you before. I was always impressed by your knowledge of comedy, of clowning, and of your comedic timing. But I see it now being done in a drama. I just see it working so beautifully in this piece.
Oh, thank you very much. I think comedy is important. I think it's what reaches the audience at first, and then once you make them laugh, then you got them, and then you can hit them with the heavy stuff.
Again, it reminded me so much of Charlie Chaplin, because Charlie Chaplin, again, being a silent movie star, he had a lot of darkness in him too, because again, he was exiled from this country. He was... one of his best friends was Helen Keller, who was a socialist. So he hung around really edgy people.
He did. I think he really just kind of ate up life. I think he really enjoyed getting to know people. I think he really enjoyed conversation and talk and debate about humanity and what makes us happy and what makes us free as a people to do what is meant to be done to make this world a better place. I think he was always just reaching out, but he never professed to being a communist. He never professed to being a socialist. He was an artist. He was a clown. That's the only thing that he really confessed to.
If my viewers decide to come out and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to see a very engaging piece that is filled with timely, issues of today. You're talking freedom of speech. You're talking about the press, the freedom of the press, and the controversy with the press. You're talking about, dictators and people trying to control what other people are trying to do. And you're talking about artistic freedom and human freedom. So they can come, they can be entertained, they'll laugh, they may cry, they'll be engaged, it may tick them off at some points, but I think they're going to be thoroughly pleased with this highly engaging, entertaining production.
Once again, I love the piece, one of the best. I'd say again, now that's the end of the year, I'm actually looking for my top 10. I'd say this is actually one of the top 10 pieces, because during this election, it just happened to, I don't know, it's a weird coincidence. The gods are smiling on you or something like that.
Can you believe it, the timeliness of this? I mean, we didn't plan that, and it premiered on the East Coast a year ago, so the writer didn't even plan on it, but boy, after this election, it just really, really hits home. This happened in 1940, and now it's happening again, and so we just need to be vigilant as a people, and question our leaders. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's right. Once again, I loved this. I loved you in this piece. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, and this show is a pleasure to be in. There's a lot of talented cast, so we have a blast doing it. So come and watch us and have fun watching it.
Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Sean Savage. Been an actor for many, many years now here in LA. Tonight it was the Consul, the Tramp, and America's Sweetheart at Theater 40 in Beverly Hills. Hope everybody can come out and see it. We've got, I think, 7 performances left the rest of this weekend and next weekend. So check out theater40.org. I played George Gissling, the German consul to Nazi Germany, actually. Unfortunately, I tried to play him from a more human side. I think, I come out with a Nazi pin on myself, and obviously representing Nazi Germany. I think you've got to be careful doing something like that because audiences already make that automatic assumption, and I think as an actor you have to play him as human as possible because, like it or not, right, wrong, or indifferent, he has a job to do, and he takes a lot of pride in it, and he believes what he's doing is right, and I think that's important to showcase rather than just make him kind of one-dimensional and a stereotypical Nazi that you might see in a movie.
I love anti-heroes, I love villains. I mean, I feel that basically the real actors are the villains because otherwise everyone's just playing themselves. What I mean? So you did a fantastic job. I just loved it. I thought.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. I mean, sometimes the villains can have more fun, but again, I try not to approach it from the point of being a villain. I think he really believes in what he's doing is right. And you have to have that type of humanity to him. Otherwise, it's just, I might as well come on stage and just doing a salute and not just listening to anybody. I think you have to, even in the most dramatic of circumstances, interject a lot of humor just to keep it lively.
Yeah. Again, all the great actors out there are great villains. Every single one of them, without exception, 100% were fantastic villains. And again, I saw tremendous acting from everyone here. Your character is one of my favorite characters up there, just because, again, not because I'm pro-Nazi or something. No, but just because I saw the depths that you went through, and you stepped right in the character. You made him so believable, and you didn't make him a cartoon or anything like that.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, then, mission accomplished. I've been lucky enough to have many people, really praise the show, and I've been lucky enough to get a compliment here and there after the show. I think some of the biggest compliments I get, honestly, is when people come up to me and say, I wanted to hit you, or I wanted to spit on you, or slap you. But the flip side of that is that they're able to generate some sort of emotion, and you're able to get emotion out of them just from watching the show. And this piece itself is again, just so timely of what's going on in the world right now, and certainly, I mean, our country. So it's just as fate would have it, I guess.
I actually worked in several motion pictures. I actually worked in 3 motion picture studios. They were all actually in Hollywood. I mean, it was the old Columbia Pictures. It was actually the Culver Studios, which did Gone with the Wind. And again, I felt like I was stepping back in time because the production values are so well done. It was the set. It was actually the sound and lighting too, which usually I don't compliment a play on the production values, but this was fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Jeff Rack, who did our set, Rick Zimmerman, who did our lighting, and Slo Savinsky, who did our sound design. And And obviously our director, Jules Aaron, was just, there's certainly when you're doing something like this, and I think when you're playing actual people, there's a lot of responsibility to that, to bring as much of that to life. And every one of us have been a real stickler for detail. Certainly Brian playing an iconic figure, along with Melanie as well, in the Mary Pickford role. So there's a lot of responsibility with that, and this, that's a huge compliment again, and thank you just for when you walk into the theater. If you feel like a show like this that you're in the 30s, then already we've set it up before anything has even began. So that's great.
Once again, I love the piece. I love the acting. I loved everyone's movement. I mean, no one, you didn't dance, but the way the movement, it looked like a silent movie at times. It looked like a comedian, like Charlie Chaplin, and you were actually doing the dance and all that. So basically, I thought it was one of the, I would say it's probably one of the top 10 shows, 10 best shows I've seen this year. I'm not sure where I'd put it, because this actually, because I'm not sure what, the timing was just so ironic that it happened around here.
You can put it at number 1 if you want.
Okay. I'd have to think about it. No, I'm serious. I'd have to think about it. I actually may put it up there, because ironically, it just happens at this time. I mean, you can't plan something like that.
No.
So, yeah. So it was just weird. So definitely recommend everyone coming. It was fantastic. I loved you in it. I thought you were fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on this show.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Laura Lee Walsh. I'm playing Miss Hollamby in the Consul, the Tramp, and America's Sweetheart. I just graduated from Hofstra University's BFA program about 2 years ago, so I've been hitting the ground running in LA ever since. I grew up in Studio City, so it's nice to be back home. Been working hard and taking classes and booking commercials and booking promos, and it's so fun to do a play that matters so much to the world and that is really reflective of the times and can be relatable to all ages. And I've learned so much working next to these 3 brilliant actors. I play Esther Hollamby. She is Mary Pickford's secretary. Spunky and sassy as all get out. Yeah. It was interesting when I first got cast, because thinking about it, looking at it, I'm the only fictional character with these 3 historically profound characters. So I love her. I relate to her a lot. I think that millennials relate. They feel like they're stuck in a time where we may not be growing, we may not have room to move up in any sort of business, but also we don't know how to approach the world. That whole thing, it's like battling with adulthood and entitlement and, all those kinds of issues. And I feel like Miss Hollamby deals with a lot of that in terms of trying to figure out what she can say, what she should say, how she shows her respect for people, for these people that she cares so much about. And she discovers all of those things through the play, through trial and error, and we see it happen, and what's cool is that it is through her eyes. So it really is my world, and I'm so blessed to have that.
I actually worked at 3 motion picture studios.
Oh, wow.
One of them was actually the old Columbia Pictures, too.
Okay.
So just looking at it, you can almost see the ghosts around. You can just see the 3 Stooges. You could see Charlie Chaplin. You could see it just walking in there. I felt that today when I was actually looking.
Wow.
I felt like I was in an old motion picture studio in the 20s.
That's so cool. I mean, I feel that we do the best that we can to create that environment, and I really do feel like I am standing with Mary Pickford and Charlie Chaplin. Absolutely, as you're saying, I have never worked in the old studios, but I believe you, and I'm so glad that you felt that when you walked in, because that's what we're trying to create. That's our goal.
I love the piece. Because it was so timely, political.
Yes.
It's almost like things just don't change. It's like no matter how far we go, it just seems that this has happened before, and it looks like it's going to happen again or something.
Yeah, and I mean, we experienced a lot during Tech Week was election week, so for us it was really hard. We felt the hit, the depression, the change when Trump won. It was just a moment of what's gonna happen? Where are we going? For me, it was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get insurance. Like, it was, one of all these things that just come rushing over your head. Like, you have no idea what's going to happen, and this play explores a lot of that, but it also explores the hard choices that we're faced with in life that we will need to make, especially since, as you said, history does repeat itself.
Also, one thing I would comment on, this was so incredibly entertaining. I mean, I know it was political. I know it talked about some touchy subjects. It was just so incredibly entertaining. I mean, from left to right, it just packed together such an exciting theater night for me.
Thank you. I'm so glad you felt that way. You know, a lot of physical comedy happens for me in this piece, and it's really fun. That's been a joy to explore.
Once again, I really love the piece. I thought you were fantastic.